Hello everyone, this is your Professor Sean Stewart, and I'm just going to go over this syllabus with you over this video recording just in case you maybe had any questions that hopefully I can answer during this video. And if not, just send me an email or post it onto the discussion board so that the entire class can see, so that everyone is on the same page. Right here you'll see my contact information. I don't know if you guys know how online courses work for Lone Star. Remember, we have six campuses and multiple centers. So it's highly possible some of you are taking this class, but you don't go to the core or the campus that I teach at or teach on. I teach at University Park. It is highly possible your main classes are at Cy-Fair or Tomball or Montgomery, but for some reason your online professor is at UP. If you need to meet with me, that's where my office is. It's in the 13th building on the 8th floor, 802. This is my office phone number. I ask that you don't call me. And the reason I say, I'm not trying to be funny, but I'm saying that because the chances of you actually getting in contact with me are very slim. Your best bet to get a hold of me would be through either D2L chat or through online email, and not through email and D2L. This is my faculty email address. Let's see, highlighted right here. This is my faculty email address, and that's something you only want to use for emergencies only. So for you to get in contact with me or just send me an email, your best bet is through D2L. And also have a Twitter account that I use for students. Just last week or 2 weeks ago, I would let students know through my Twitter if former students, if schools cancel, things of that nature. And I have been known to put a bonus question up on the Twitter as well. So that is my contact information. Let's see, go here. Here we go. For this class is a little different in terms of the textbook. We are using Corey Floyd's textbook, Interpersonal Communication. You need an access card for this, and the Connect access card is sold at the University Park bookstore. There's no guarantee that it's sold anywhere else, but for sure it's at UP. Some of you might have already purchased a hard copy of the textbook. I would implore you to take that back if you can and get the access card for this, as that's where your quizzes are going to be online via this book. So the textbook in and of itself is online. Yes, I am fully aware that many of you learn differently and there are different learning styles. So if you want to have the hard copy of the textbook, you should just know you're going to be paying for both the hard copy of the textbook as well as the access card, because the things that we're doing for your quizzes come from what's on the online textbook and the access card. This class is interpersonal communication. I like interpersonal. It was one of my favorites when I studied communication at UT and during my graduate work. And communication and interpersonal is dealing with two people, so relationships. But it's not just necessarily your significant other relationships. One of the things that students have told me before is they say, Mr. Sean, which is what some students call me, Mr. Sean, you're like a relationship counselor. I just want you to know, I'm not a relationship counselor, but I just kind of tell it like it is. And that's how this course is going to be. When you're posting on the discussion boards, you feel free to say anything you want in terms of the topics that we're discussing, but essentially don't be offensive. And I deem what's offensive and what isn't. If it is, I'll just take it down. If you see something that you think I maybe have missed, because I read the discussion boards, if you see something I maybe have missed, just send me link it in an email and send it to me and let me know. I'll go check it out and we'll go from there. This is a collaborative learning community. That's what we're here to do. You're here to learn. And sometimes, though, our thoughts, our values, our beliefs can come off as offensive when in reality we're just uneducated. So if you have a question or a thought, put it out there and let's see what the class comes up with. That's the whole point, is for us to learn, but we're not here to be offensive in any nature. At the end of this syllabus, going over this, I'm going to go over some online myths. And one of the things you'll consistently and constantly hear me saying throughout the course of this semester, taking an online course is not work at your own pace. I'm not sure where students got that information from, There's a reason those universities that are online universities that allow you to work at your own pace, there's a reason they're not doing very well. There are deadlines that must be met, and you'll see that as we go along. Participation in an online course is necessary. We're collaborative learning. That's the whole point of this. And you chose an online course for a reason. Maybe you have a job, maybe you have kids, things of that nature that you can't get up to campus. Some of you probably enrolled in online after the hurricane because that's the only way you can take courses. I just want you to know this. You still need to be active and you still need to be participating in online, and you're going to see as we go further throughout the syllabus. However, if for any reason you say, I'm not going to participate, I don't want to do this class anymore, keep in mind, it is your responsibility to withdraw yourself. It is not my responsibility to drop you. So it's your responsibility to go to Student Services, fill out the drop form to withdraw from the course. Otherwise, you're just going to get the F. And as you see me say this later on in this video, the F stays on your transcript forever. F stands for forever. There we go. Office hours and emails. If you have any questions related to the class, your best bet is to send me an email in D2L. You should note that even though this is online and some of your assignments do work through the weekend, if you send me an email after about 10 o'clock on a Friday, you most likely will not get a response until that following Monday morning when I'm back on my office, because I really don't work on Fridays, or I don't have to go to my office on Fridays, I should say. So just something to be aware. It says 12 p.m. in there. I'm pretty lenient and flexible with that. But if there's a huge assignment that's due maybe on like a Monday or a Tuesday, then I'll periodically check my email throughout the over the weekend. But when you email me, be professional in your email. And if you're not, I'll respond back to let you know, hey, you got to be a little bit more professional than this. So instead of just, first of all, my name is not Hey, just be aware of that. You want to introduce yourself. Professor Stewart, this is Sally from your Interpersonal online class. I have a question about this. Introduce yourself, end with a greeting. Thank you, sincerely. Strive to be professional, as we are all adults here taking this course. For this online class, I have what I call quick hits. Quick hits are a quick video that I record. It's either of a certain theory, of a certain concept, just something from the textbook that I personally want to go into a little bit more depth in, or it's something that's not in your textbook that I think needs to be covered. These quick hits will be uploaded to YouTube, and I will have a folder marked quick hits under the content tab of D2L. That's where every quick hit will be housed. There's not necessarily a quick hit for every chapter though. A couple of things you need to be aware of when it comes to these quick hits. Number one, there might be information in the quick hits that I will discuss that are not part of your textbook, but you're still responsible for the quizzes, for the exams, or for the final exam. And number two, these quick hits are not designed for you to stop doing your reading. If you just listen to the quick hits and that's it, and you don't do your course readings, you are on your way to an F in this class, okay? The quick hits are supplemental, so they're designed to help you throughout the entirety of this course. All assignments are due by the assignment due date. You are not to email me any assignment unless I specifically say, hey, you can email me this assignment, but I wouldn't say hey, I would say your name. Just an FYI, I caught myself. There are no makeup exams in this class offered. Online access and email. From this point forward, I will no longer answer you. If you send me an email from a Gmail or a Yahoo or a Hotmail, it must be through your D2L Lone Star email. And that is where I have an email address as well. It's also your responsibility to log into D2L and connect every day. You can at least just indulge me and log in maybe every other day if you want. But logging in maybe once a week, that's probably not going to yield you the best grade in the course. It's expected that you know how to log in. It's expected that you have access to the internet, either at your house. And if you don't, because of the hurricane, please see me. Please send me an email, and we will see where the closest Lone Star campus or center is to you that does have email and access so that you can get your assignments done. Chain of command, if there's some sort of issue, you come to me first, and then you go to the department chair, and then you go to the dean. Think about it like this. Some of you out there might work in a retail job. Maybe you work at Starbucks or Academy or HEB or Walmart or Target or something along those lines. If you had a problem with your supervisor, you wouldn't go straight to the CEO of Target or the CEO of Starbucks. If you had a problem with your supervisor, the first person you talk to is your supervisor. So similarly, that's our relationship here. If you have a problem with me or an issue with me, the first person you talk to is me, and we will try to figure it out. I guarantee you I will give you an answer. You may not like that answer, but I will have an answer for you. But if for some reason we can't resolve whatever conflict or issue we have, then you go to the next person on the list, and that is the department chair, Dave Gare, who is also at University Park. If you and he cannot figure it out, then you'll go to the next person on the list, and that is our Dean of Behavioral and Social Sciences, Dr. Lawrence Brandyberg. Essentially what this means is this. If you have an issue, you don't go straight to the dean, you don't go straight to the campus president, or you don't go straight to the chancellor. I guarantee you the very first question they will ask is, have you spoken to Professor Stewart? If your answer is no, then they will send you right back down to come talk to me. So you got to talk to me regardless. But I have a feeling that we're not going to have any issue with this whatsoever during this class. Basic need, this is something that I put in my course this semester. It's brand new. It's an idea I got from a colleague in Wisconsin, at the University of Wisconsin. Essentially, if you have a basic need, come see me. And when I say a basic need, I mean you can't eat dinner that day. You don't have any food to eat. We had a student at University Park living out of his car for 3 weeks before we found out. I just found out 2 or 3 weeks ago that there was a similar situation of a student who didn't have any housing at Kingwood. That was before the hurricane. There are so many stories across the system, across the Lone Star College system, across the city of Houston, where students are trying to go to college, get their education, but they are lacking basic needs such as food, clothing, shelter, water, things of that nature. Even if you're being abused and you need to report that, something along those lines, come talk to me. The reason being, Lone Star has access to stuff for you. We have access to resources for you to help you out. Okay, so don't think we don't, because we do. And if I don't have it, I will find it for you. You can send that to me via email if you want a private note, something along those lines. Just if there's a basic need, just let me know. Okay, and campus carry, that applies only if you take on-campus courses. Take a look at the frequently asked questions portion of the syllabus. This gives you an idea of some questions students in online classes have asked me in the past. So how will you be graded in this class? One of the biggest portions of this class has to do with the discussion boards. For the discussion boards, each discussion board in each module is worth 15 points. How this works is this. For each module, I will ask you a series of questions. I could ask you anywhere from 2 questions. 2 will always be the minimum. I will ask you anywhere from 2 to 5. I will never ask you more than 5 questions. However, all of your answers for the combined questions must add up to 500 words. You don't have to do 500 words for each question. That's the first thing. The second thing is you cannot type your answers out and then look at it and say, oh my gosh, I'm not at 500 words. Let me go back and put in the questions that Professor Stewart put. And so putting in the questions puts you over 500. That's not how it works either. However many questions there are, all of your answers total must equal 500 words. So there might be a situation in which questions number 1 and number 2 are just like 3 sentences each, because that's what it is. Well, then that means the rest of the questions, for some reason, somehow need to be a little bit more detailed and lengthy in your examples and analysis so that you reach the 500 word plateau. Remember, it's the minimum of 500 words, not maximum. Okay, so you can write more than that. There's something called a first post due date. You see that in the course calendar and the course syllabus. The first post due date is when your very first post to the questions that I have asked must be posted to the discussion board. If it's not, it will result in -5 automatically. So if the first post due date is September the 12th and you post your very first post to the questions on September 13th, well then I start out with -5 and we go from there. Okay. I started doing this, and you're starting to see a lot more online instructors do this, and the reason is this prevents students from just posting everything on the very last day. And when students do that, you're not giving your classmates time to respond to your posts. So you're actually doing your classmates harm, and it's preventing them from getting their work done. So with the first post due date, typically I leave that out for about 4 days. I give you 4 days to respond to my discussion questions, and then I give you about 3 days to put your 2 responses in. Speaking of the 2 responses, you must reply to at least 2 of your classmates. Each reply must be 150 words apiece. So if your first reply to a classmate is 150 words, but the second reply is not, then you don't get credit at all. It's a -3 altogether. Both replies must be a minimum of 150 words. And I had a student email me, I can't remember if it was this interpersonal class or another class, ask or they posted on the questions part of the discussion board, what's the best way to put the wording or the word count into the discussion board to make sure that you have 500 words? And my response is most students tell me they just type it in Word and copy paste. Okay, so to me, I think that's your best bet. I have had a few students use Grammarly, and I'll be honest, Grammarly is off on its word count. So just an FYI. You can peruse this at your leisure, talking about developing its substantive message, how to be detailed in your messaging, netiquette on the internet, things of that nature. For your other assignments, you'll be doing reflection papers. You're writing 3 reflection papers throughout the course of the semester, a minimum of 500 words, maximum of 750 words. That equals out to about 1.5 pages. Essentially, you'll be writing about concepts or theories that can relate to your personal life, so something that you want to be aware of. And it doesn't necessarily just have to be within the module that we're in right then and there. It could be practically about anything that we've discussed so far. You'll be doing a looking glass project, which is due here in a couple of weeks. You'll be picking out pictures that create some sort of self-concept of you, that serve as some sort of looking glass into your life. In the past, I've had students put pictures of them when they were little, pictures with their grandpa who maybe has passed away, pictures with their parents, pictures on vacation, their friends, football games. There's no right or wrong answer here. It's whatever photos that you find that you believe serve as a looking glass into your life and have shaped your self-concept. And we're going to talk about this a little bit more later. You'll create this photo album, quote unquote, in PowerPoint or Prezi. You'll be doing a poem project that will apply to the discussion boards. Essentially, you're writing a poem about emotions, and we're going to get into that later on in the semester. You'll be doing a movie analysis of the movie Crash. If you have not seen the movie Crash, it came out in 2004, 2005. It's available on Netflix. It's available on YouTube. It's available on Amazon, especially if you have Amazon Prime. So something to be aware of. And we'll talk more about that, and I'll give you a detailed rubric about that as we get closer towards the end of the semester. 3 exams will be given throughout the course of the semester and a comprehensive final exam. You do not have to come to campus to take the exam. If you want to take any of the exams in a setting, in a testing center, you have to give me 72 hours notice, okay? But there is no requirement to come on campus to take an exam. You'll have 12 quizzes that coincide with each chapter. There are 12 chapters in the text, so you'll have 12 quizzes, excuse me, I can't talk today. Syllabus quiz, 1 syllabus quiz to be completed, and yours is uploaded already, I do believe. If it's not, let me double check once I get done with this. And I'll give you a little bit extra time to do that, because as you all know, this is not a traditional school semester based on what has happened. But if you don't complete the syllabus quiz by the due date posted, you will be dropped from the class, okay? So just something to be aware of. Class intros, you guys have started on that, and I'm about to peruse through those and reply to some of you, so take a look at that as well. There is no late work accepted, and potential extra credit could be available throughout the course of the semester. And this is essentially how it breaks down, okay? total of 900 possible points, and then this is how your grading scale works. So pretty simple. It's a point scale, points-based class. Points-based class because number one, all you have to do is add up your points through any point throughout the semester to know your grade. But number two, in a points-based class, that's what most four-year universities use, so it's getting you acclimated to that type of system. So this is your course calendar. As you can see, I have changed it pretty easily for a September 5th start date. Introductions and syllabus quiz due the 8th. I have not posted Module 1 just yet. I'm going to do that today, possibly tomorrow. And Module 1 is going to bleed into Module 2. So I'm going to be a little bit flexible in due dates for Module 1, and then we'll start to get more on track and on task with Module 2. So I know a few of you are probably worried about Module 1. Don't be just trust me. I've taught before. I know how this works, okay? Just trust me on this. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. But if anything changes throughout the course calendar, I'm always the first to let you know. And I really don't change anything unless it gives you extra time to do stuff. For system policies for Lone Star College and University Park, we do not tolerate plagiarism. If I do catch you plagiarizing, I will not only get you will not only get an F in this class, but I will do my darndest to get you kicked out of Lone Star College on a permanent basis. And I am 1 for 1 on that. That has happened before. It happened actually a year ago. And she was kicked out of the system. So just something to be aware of. Plagiarizing, taking someone else's work, turning in your own work that you've already turned in. There are mechanisms in place that you have to turn in your assignments through, and it tells me automatically if it's plagiarized or if it's not. Student behavior, there's a student code of conduct, there's an ADA statement, campus safety and security. Withdrawal policy, the last day to withdraw a course for a grade of W for Lone Star College is November the 13th. Remember, you are responsible for withdrawing yourself. I will tell you this. A W on your transcript looks better than an F. Okay? So if you're trying to transfer out and you think this isn't going to work, you might make a C, you might make a D, you might make an F. A W looks better than a C, D, or an F. And another thing, and I was telling this to my face-to-face classes today, I think some students think if they make an F in a class, they'll just retake the class and make an A, and it'll cancel out that F. That F will be dropped off your transcript. And that answer is no, that's not true. Your F stays on your transcript forever. The 0.00 gets factored into your GPA forever. So you want to be aware of making Fs and when it's best to put a W on your transcript with a drop. If you have questions, come ask me. Sometimes I think students drop prematurely. It may look like you're not doing well, but typically I can talk you down off the ledge when it comes to dropping the class. However, I'll be open and honest with you. It does me no good to sugarcoat things. If you say, Professor Sean, do you think I need to drop the course? I'll tell you yes or no, straight up. I had a student a couple semesters ago. Her father came down with leukemia halfway through the semester. She asked me, do I need to drop? My answer was yes. That's a situation in which you need to take the W's and go be with your family. So just be aware of that. You only get 6 drops throughout the course of your college semester in the state of Texas. FERPA, this is something I want you to be aware of because it is possible that we have high school students in this class. I don't know if you're a dual credit student. If you're a dual credit student, can you send me an email to let me know? But FERPA just essentially means I can only talk to you about your grades. I can't talk to your mom. I can't talk to your dad. I can't talk to your abuela. I can only talk to you. This even applies to the local police departments. If they ask certain questions, there are certain answers I can give them and certain answers I cannot. So keep in mind, you're an adult. We're in college. I can only talk to you about your stuff. Evaluation of instruction. Essentially, you get to evaluate me at the end of the semester. And finally, University Park is committed to your success. If you've never taken a class at UP, you're really missing out. We have some really cool and awesome stuff for you. Even if you take your main classes at another campus, I implore you to come to University Park to explore what we have. We have probably the best library in the entire Lone Star College system, and we just learned it's getting expanded. We have a testing center, writing center, tutoring center, counseling services, assistive technology. We have a math hotspot. There is a biology hotspot, and the biology new building is about to open later on this fall. All of this is for your disposal. I just beg students to just please utilize it. You're paying for it, you should use it. And then the syllabus caveat, the syllabus is my property. I own it, so I can change it at any time that I want. However, as you heard me earlier, I only change the syllabus to benefit you. And typically that's to give you more time. So I'll always let you know when that changes. So right now I want to go over syllabus myths and myths about online courses. I think it all is going to fit in this box. A couple of myths about online courses. Online is work at your own pace. That's not true. You have due dates for modules and assignments, just like face-to-face classes. As I said before, there's a reason those online courses online-only universities are not doing very well. There is more or less work in an online course. No, there's not more or less work. A couple of comments I've heard students say is that they think I give them more work in online than I do my face-to-face. And my response to that is, no, you guys do the same thing. You may do a little bit more in terms of writing because you're writing the discussion boards, but you have to take it into account. My face-to-face class is responsible for face-to-face interaction. And if they don't do that, they get a straight up 0. So there's not more or less work. I don't have to communicate with anyone in an online course. That's not true. Discussion boards that we have take the place of class interaction and class participation. So we're collaborating just like we're in a face-to-face class. And online is easier or online is harder. I've heard both from students, and the answer is false. That's the only answer I can come up with. False. Online classes are just delivered differently. They're the exact same class as face-to-face. It's just in a different mode, in a different channel. So this was the course syllabus. If you have any questions, either post it on the discussion board asking about class questions so that your classmates can see as well, or send me an email, and I look forward to you being in this course.